Hello, my name is Jenny Glick. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, certified sex therapist. But for you in this space, I'm a way shower, life doula, guide when your relationships and your life feels like it's torqued. Today, we're going to talk about what happens if you are married to a man who's a nice guy and yet you don't have a lot of desire or arousal for him. This is very typical, super normal in long-term committed relationship. A lot of women marry someone who's the guy next door, the really great best friend, and they love their family life. They love the security that this very predictable human brings to their life. But what they don't love is what's happening in the bedroom. So let's break that down a little bit for you and give you some guidance on what might actually serve the both of you to have the kind of sex life that you want. If you like this video, like, subscribe, share with a friend. Sharing is caring. Okay, so are you a woman who married someone who is your best friend, feels like your soulmate, feels like your life partner? If so, leave me a comment below. Tell me a little bit about it. If you're in that case, so here's the deal. Love and security often do not breed or create desire and eros, because desire and eros is often something that we experience when there's danger or unpredictability. So when you get married, what happens is you make this unconscious contract to be with a person and to be with them every day over coffee, over dinner, having children together, managing your finances, your home stuff, holidays, extended family, all of these very mundane experiences, right? And that predictability flattens desire. And so then the desire is not there. Many, many years ago, when I still had a traditional practice in Denver, Colorado, when 50 Shades of Grey came out, do you remember that? It was like every single woman who I worked with was reading 50 Shades of Grey, and they were coming into my office saying, "Oh my gosh, this is so arousing to me." And of course it is, because it's dangerous, right? It's something that's taboo, and it's something that's out of the norm. And so we know that we often find excitement where there's danger, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's very typical. So that's one sort of layer of what's happening in your relationship. The other layer of what may be happening in your relationship is that most of us women are not taught how to name our desires. So it may be that maybe you are in a marriage where your husband's not, or your partner's not like the nice guy or whatever. You wouldn't describe him like that, but your sex life is still not what you want it to be. And many of us as women don't learn what we want. We know what we don't want because we're taught to not say what we want. We're taught to diminish the feelings of our wanting, right? And to not speak them at all. And then if we do share a want with a partner, if our partner is not well initiated, or they haven't sort of met a particular maturity threshold, then they're not going to hear that very well. So then when we make a request to them about what we want, they might shame us, push us away, be offended, get mad, do that. Like, well, never mind then, I'm going to take my toys and go play by myself, right? And so we have this really delicate experience with one another in how it is that I can name what I want without hurting the other person. And because as women, and if you've watched some of my other videos, I talk about this a fair amount, that as women, most of us, there's a lot of variety between woman to woman, but most of us really want relationships to work. Most of us are not looking for conflict. Most of us want to ensure that the collective, the tribe, stays healthy, and those relational web, right, is really nourished, which is why it is that we can come across as being codependent, is because we're trying to ensure that those relationships stays intact. The downside of that is that then we end up muting ourselves. And I like to think of that as self-mutilation. So when you're muting yourself, you're literally cutting a part of yourself off, right? So when you have something that it is that you want in your relationship, something to kick up the eros, right? You want to have more fire in your relationship. Here's what I want you to do, and it's really unconventional. I want you to pay attention to your complaint. So your complaint is connected to your desire and what you want. So if you have a complaint that your partner is boring, that they don't initiate, that they don't touch you the way that you want, then you have a desire in there, right? And so if we really examine the desire without blame, right? Because if the desire is blaming or wronging the other person, then we're not actually getting to the real meat of what it is that you long for, right? And so if you don't like the way that your partner, let's say that they're not initiating with you, you have a desire maybe to be wanted, to feel led, right? You have the desire possibly to surrender. I work with a lot of women who would describe themselves as high achieving, as type A, who are very professional and often very successful in life. And they often in the bedroom want to have an experience where they get to surrender, right? Where they get to have their partner, man or woman, lead that scenario, which sounds really great if you're in the 50 Shades of Grey novel, right? That's amazing, except for if you're in real life, you need to negotiate that contract, which means you need to be very clear and specific about what you want and ask for it, right? In very clear ways, and preferably not that moment that you're in the bedroom, like not right then when your clothes are off and you're getting into bed, to talk about that beforehand in a way. And so here's a way to start a conversation with your beloved, to say something like, you know, what would feel really good for me? You know, what would bring me so much pleasure? You know, what I would love? And invite them into that experience with you, right? Rather than, I really hate it when you do this. It's really annoying to me how you do that. I have told you 5 times not to do X and Y, but you keep doing it. And I know you're annoyed. I know that it's irritating to you that your intimate life isn't how it is that you want it to be. And if we want to shift those experiences, part of it is about learning how to be in a space of being invitational. If you're listening to this and you feel angry or annoyed, or you're like, why do I have to do all the work? This is bullshit, right? Yeah, I'm probably not the person for you because you get to do your work because it's your life. And if you want to have a robust, intimate life with your partner, then that means that you get to show up in a way that creates the conditions for that to happen. It's not because you're wrong. It's not your fault. It's none of that. It's because we have a handful of tools in our toolbox as divine creators, which I believe is what we are when we're here. And those tools are how you think, how you speak, how you believe, what you do, and the energetic signature that you bring to that. So your thinking, feeling, doing, and believing create an energetic signature. And if what you're showing up with is annoyance, frustration, shame, and embarrassment, that you are with someone that you don't feel attracted to, and it's never going to change. And so why bother, right? That's like this character that you're in, and that character is not going to get anything different. And again, if you're listening to me and if you're saying, but I've done all the things and none of them have worked, I get you. I do this for a living. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I understand, and none of this is about blame, but the part of you that wants to just throw up your hands, right? That part, let's give her so much love. If you worked with me privately, we would do some embodiment practices with that part of you that has a lot of wisdom. She has hurt, she has grief. And so to be with that part and metabolize, once you can feel those feelings in your body, I'm sort of going beyond the scope of this, what this video is going to be, but this is what's coming through. So this is what we're going to talk about. So when you allow yourself to feel the feelings of all of the work that you've done, and I know you're resentful, and I know it's annoying, and I know you feel super disappointed, and all of that is okay. You get to feel those things slowly and feel them through your senses in your body. That's what I guide women through when I work with them privately or even in my groups. Feel those things in your body so that you can cull the wisdom from it. Because if you don't feel it in your body and you just think about it, or you have drinks about it and talk to your girlfriends about it and you feel angry, all that does is promote more of that character who's helpless or a victim or angry or resentful or totally bitter. And that is fine if that's what you want to do in your life. But the women who work with me are like, I'm done doing that. I need a different character. Right? And that's what I do is help you grow, create a character that has the life that you want. Right? And the life that you want usually is less about the things that you have or who your partner is. It's about having an emotional experience every single day, a lived experience in your life every single day that feels deeply nourishing. And when we are, as women, deeply nourished, that means we're safe. That means we can experience pleasure. And that means that we can go into our life and be the creators that we're meant to be. We can contribute. We become very generous, right? Because all of our, not needs, but all of our desires are being met because we're creating the conditions to meet them, right? Is this making sense? If you have questions, drop them below because I'm happy to get to them and respond. So back to, if you feel like your partner is the nice guy or the nice gal and you don't have eros with them, here's the question for you. How can you show up as a character that is available for something different? And I have this really great program called Your Marriage is Your Ashram. It's like ridiculously affordable. It's 10 weeks long. I'll put the link below so you can check it out. But that program walks you through where you are now and what I call your 1.0 self. So the part of you that's like, this is never going to change. Why bother? I've tried everything. I guess I'm just going to have to live a sexless life, right? Starting there, that's a character. It has certain thinking, feeling, doing, believing patterns and an energetic signature, right? Starting there and then looking at what's the character, who's the character, the woman that you want to be, how do you want to experience your life? Not about how you want them to change, because that's usually what happens when you drag your partner to couples therapy. You're talking about how you want them to change, even though you know you have your things, you really want to, most of us are trained to focus on the other person. And so really identifying, you could do this on your own. You don't have to buy my course, like looking at those patterns presently, and then how it is that you want to experience your life instead, but keep it to you, not how you want them to change. And then the practice becomes, how do you show up anyway with the kind of joy that you want? How do you practice really speaking what you want? But for most women, we don't know what we want. We don't know specifically how it is I want to be touched, right? Do I want almost touch? Do I want soft touch, right? Do I want firm touch? Like what exactly do I want to be touched? How do I want to be touched? And am I available for arousal? And arousal is only available to us as women when we feel deeply safe in our bodies. So if I'm spending all day super anxious, worried about money, running around with the kids, feeling like I can't say no, allowing people to book themselves on my calendar, and feeling resentful about it, none of that creates a character that is available for eros, right? Because that woman is going to likely be bitter and tired and annoyed. And if her partner does make an overture of eros, with her later on in the evening, she's gonna be like, oh, I'm too tired, right? And so part of the practice of being a well-pleasured woman is being a woman who's deeply safe, which means that you are prioritizing your body to ensure that it is being fed and watered and moved and relaxed and all the things that you need while you're contributing and working and tending towards the relationships and your community with boundaries, right? So that you are available for eros as well. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If it has, like, share, watch one of my other videos because, I'm kind of fun. Check out my pleasure quiz if you haven't already. Thanks so much for being here. Please feel free to drop your comments or your questions below, and I will see you next time.